Ex-nurse who killed 8 seniors says she got a laughing feeling after injecting a patient. Injections of insulin were used to kill seniors in long-term care homes in 3 Ontario communities. She was angry at her career and her life. Her elderly patients, some suffering from dementia, were easy prey. Former registered nurse Elizabeth Wettlaufer, 49, who pleaded guilty in Superior Court, state of 14 charges including first-degree murder, attempted murder, and aggravated assault, told the court that a red surge would come over her when she was about to kill someone. Wettlaufer worked at homes in Ontario communities of Woodstock, Paris, and London, often as the registered nurse overseeing the night shifts. In October, Wettlaufer was charged in the deaths of 8 residents at nursing homes in Woodstock and London. In January, she faced 6 additional charges related to seniors in her care. She worked at the facilities between 2007 and 2014. Family members of Wettlaufer's victims were faced with a long and emotional day in court. Some broke down in the courtroom as Wettlaufer entered her pleas. They have already heard that the ex-nurse told police she used insulin pens to administer lethal and non-lethal doses of the drug to kill 8 people and seriously harm 6. How much she was injecting was kind of hit and miss, Wettlaufer told police. Wettlaufer stood up straight and spoke clearly and concisely as she pleaded guilty to the charges. You realize that first-degree murder is punishable with life in prison, Justice Bruce Thomas asked Wettlaufer. Yes, Your Honor, she answered. In one case, a victim's family thanked Wettlaufer for her care. They had no idea she had just killed the patient. After injecting another of her victims, she got what she told police was a laughing feeling. She left for a Caribbean cruise the next day. Wettlaufer confirmed that she was not intoxicated by drugs or alcohol while injecting victims with insulin with the intent to kill. You knew this could be fatal, Thomas asked Wettlaufer. Yes, Your Honor, she answered. I honestly thought God wanted to use me, Wettlaufer told police during an almost 3-hour taped confession that was played in court. On the tape, Wettlaufer describes how she killed her first victim, James Silcox, while working at the Crescent Care Home in Woodstock. She told police she knew Silcox had dementia and said there were others before him who she tried to kill. She said the home kept insulin in the refrigerator, which gave her easy access to it. After Silcox died, Wettlaufer said she felt awful, but I just went home to bed. Susan Horvat, the daughter of one of the seniors Wettlaufer has now admitted to killing, spoke to CBC News on her way into court Thursday. She will be telling us why and how, and we will all know the final moments of our loved ones' lives, said Horvat, whose father, Arpad Horvat, was murdered. During her taped confession, Wettlaufer also told police she had plans to work at a school for diabetic children in Ingersoll, Ontario. Jeez. Wettlaufer's mother, Hazel Parker, told CBC News her daughter has asked that her parents not be in court for the appearance today. They instead plan to speak to her Wednesday night by telephone from the Vanier Centre for Women in Milton, Ontario. Parker said her daughter has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and is receiving medication. What has been lost in the media is that had Beth not come forward, police never would have known any of this. She's dealing with this the best she can, Parker said. Wettlaufer waived her right to a preliminary hearing in April and instead opted to go straight to trial. The families of those Wettlaufer killed were told their victim impact statements will likely be read in court June 26 and June 27. Typically, victim impact statements are entered on the day of sentencing. The police investigation into Wettlaufer began last September after Toronto police became aware of information she had given to a psychiatric hospital in Toronto that caused them concern, a police source told the Canadian press. Records from the College of Nurses of Ontario show Wettlaufer was first registered as a nurse in August 1995 and resigned September 30, 2016. This is just absolutely outrageous. What a sick, fucked up, disgusting bitch. And this went on for so many years. I heard that the first one of those murders took place in 2007, and I believe the last one took place in either 2014 or 2015. Over the span of 7 or 8 years. How the fuck was she able to get away with all of this? I don't know. I think there needs to be some more checks and balances. I mean, some people are just handed too much trust and are able to get away with these kind of heinous things. Like, this honestly is one of the worst, one of the most gruesome murder cases that I've ever heard about in Canada. And she would probably go down as being the worst female killer in Canadian history. I've never heard of any other females in Canadian history murdering 8 people and attempting to murder 6 others. I mean, some of us, unfortunately, have to admit our family members to these nursing homes because, unfortunately, they're unable to take care of themselves. And we might be unable to take care of them, so we take them to these nursing homes, hoping that they'll get the care that they need. But we've all heard the stories about people being victimized, being abused in these nursing homes. I hope that, well, first of all, I hope this fucking bitch just spends the rest of her life in jail with no chance of parole ever. Send her where the sun don't shine. She never deserves to see the outside world ever again. And if she is given the same sentence that some other heinous murderers have been given in Canada, like life in jail, but she gets to apply for parole after only 25 years, that's a miscarriage of justice. She needs to sit in jail till the day that she dies. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's a matter of fact, I kind of wish we had the death penalty in Canada to deal with fuck-ups like this. Like, it's just, I don't know, I have no words. She was able to get away with it for all those years. And she even confesses to going on a Caribbean cruise after she murdered one of her victims. I don't know. Elizabeth Wettlaufer, you're one sick fuck. I hope you have a miserable life in jail, you fucking cunt. And you know, my condolences, my heart goes out to everyone that has been victimized by this crazy bitch. This is absolutely disgusting. And I hope that there's a full probe done into, like, not just put Elizabeth Wettlaufer away for the rest of her life, but I hope there's a probe done, like an inquest held into how these nursing homes are operated, and what kind of checks and balances are done to make sure that patients are receiving the proper care they're supposed to receive. I would like to see things make a change for the better following this. This shouldn't have happened.